Venezuela, viewers, has finally agreed to accept its nationals from US once again after suspending US flights entry into the country following the US's withdrawal of Chevron's license to export Venezuelan oil. Trump administration has in fact deported hundreds of Venezuelans to El Salvador on charges of being gang members. Earlier, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro slammed the US for this action. Take a look.
Venezuela has announced that it will accept its deported nationals from the United States. The announcement was made by the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Llevarlos esposados, golpearlos en la pista, golpearlos al entrar en la... ¿Por qué los golpean? ¿Por qué los humillan? Eso ocurre. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué los tienen que rapar? ¿Por qué los tienen que meter? O sea, aquí secuestro, campo de concentración, humillación, violación de las leyes nacionales e internacionales y además trabajo esclavo para rematar. Volvimos al tiempo del esclavismo. Volvimos al tiempo del esclavismo, ¿acaso? Por el amor de Dios.
Earlier, the Venezuelan president strongly criticized the deportation of hundreds of Venezuelan immigrants from the United States.
Gracias a la perseverancia y a la persistencia de nuestro gobierno, reanudamos los vuelos para seguir rescatando y liberando migrantes de las cárceles de Estados Unidos. Vamos a rescatar un grupo de muchachos mañana, y la otra semana, y la otra. Y llegará el momento que rescatemos a nuestros muchachos que están secuestrados, desaparecidos, sin haber cometido delitos, ni en Estados Unidos, y menos en El Salvador, secuestrados en campos de concentración nazi en El Salvador. Son campos de concentración al estilo de Hitler.
Trump administration deported Venezuelan migrants under an 18th century Alien Enemies Act to El Salvador, branding them as gang members. Maduro's government has mostly refused the entry of immigrants deported from the United States. The action has triggered huge protests in Venezuela. Hundreds and thousands rallied on the streets of downtown Caracas with a march protesting against US deportations to an El Salvadoran prison. However, President Maduro has finally agreed to accept the deportees. It will be the fifth flight of the migrants arriving in Venezuela since Trump took office in January. Venezuela had suspended flights on March 8th after the US withdrew Chevron's license to export Venezuelan oil.
Meanwhile, viewers, people in Israel are getting restive over the hostage issue. Relatives of hostages are still, in terror groups' captivity. Hamas's captivity held a protest on Sunday outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence, and they were demanding the resumption of ceasefire and resolving the hostage crisis. Here's more on what's happening in Tel Aviv. Hundreds of people gathered outside the Prime Minister's residence in Jerusalem on Sunday, protesting against the war and his plan to fire the country's head of internal security. This comes as Israel renews its offensive against Hamas in Gaza.